Hello, this is Gerald van Was. Two letters look slightly alike, the W and the M, so as if they are a little bit like opposites, but they are from a totally different category, but they can be compared so that you can understand them well. I can compare them with waves, and there you can see how they are really different. They create different associations. They create different words from these associations because they have certain qualities that are about and they are related with a certain focus that fits with their level of experience that we have while hearing them. So every letter has a behaviorism in it where you hear actually like, okay, we can stay down there, or no, it's like we have to follow a little bit for what's going on. It's changing a little bit. Or it is like, where is it? I have to be careful very much to what it is reflecting itself. There are three different kinds of thinking which are also related with three different kinds of frequencies that we hear and that we respond to. And that's how there is also a method that we can analyze actually everything that we hear on a certain level of experience that is a little bit more materialized and fixed, or moving and changing, or really like, yeah, okay, we have to look at the things that are related with them because it's resonating somewhere. It has a lot of resonances, so we have to deal with other things. There are different ways of thinking that you can learn to see where this attention is going to in each letter. So W and M, if you write them down, it looks a bit the same as if they are opposites, but they are not really opposites, but they have something of an opposite somewhere that I will explain. And I will therefore also take an example of two words that are somewhat sounding a bit the same, meaning that I will have the word war with a W and more with the M, although the first word is written with an A and the other one with an O. We will have all these letters explained very well, also as waves and as focuses, so that you can understand very well what we are focusing upon when we use this word, when we use these letter combinations. As waves, when we really start to compare them as waves, because a wave is like a continuation of something, it can be very interesting to realize the things and what we name via these waves when we start to compare these things in behaviors. So the behaviorisms of W and M are quite different, but both of them can be compared to waves. And it's a bit almost the difference that you can already hear and know and understand by the words water with the W and matter with the M. And there is already quite a difference how this looks like, but you all can express them with different kinds of waves then, let's say. And let's focus upon the positions first. And you have the M down there and the W in the second degree. What is this? These 2 degrees. 1 degree is actually saying like, okay, we have a basis, a fixed focus down there, and we can analyze all the positions from that position, and the M is related with that position. W needs 2 focuses. I will come to that, and that has also a different approach. So in the first level, when we also would take waves and we assemble them or express them, they are also in the first level, when we use just one focus, all the waves are gathered are around a center point, because that's what we're going to do. So they will behave differently when they have 1 center, 2 centers, or 3 centers. Here we'll start with 1 center. The A is that basic sound, the first sound, the A, and that's basically saying like this is our fixed point. We start from a fixed point. So if we would start to build up waves around it, this is the first wave, then it's actually just following its circle. The attention goes around the circle. It keeps that attention around that circle. And when we would add a wave to it, it would not be much more than a basic impulse. That's the wave of A, which also has a continuation, or which tries to have a continuation. At least that's what we try to imagine, that it will have a continuation. That's what we prefer to have it. We will have a basis and we will have an impulse down there that we think will continue to be the same thing ever and ever again. That's at least our intent of imagining, of focus, of our objective, that we realize everything, even that is around the center and that is fixed. It can remain that way. That's our idea that we immediately have at that point. And in fact, it's just like it's our wave, which is an engagement, an approach towards the world that we think will continue, and we have that focus in the middle, but it will not always behave like that. We just have, we hope for it, that the yin and yang of our opinion and of the following the wave will be automatically engaged and answered in that way, that it continues how it started. That's how we associate things with A. Of course, reality is not in that responsive way. It's not guaranteed. We have a starting point. We start with that wave around that center, and we just hope for the best, that it will indeed continue, and that it also hope that it will be understood by the others, and that it will be captured as that rhythm that we have as an approach. But that's just the starting point. We're not sure. We just have that only that first starting point from there. Basically, it's just focusing around the center and continue to do so. The next letters, because there we we're not going to go too deep in all the letters, but in the system you have the A, T, K as the first letters, and the U, L, and B. The L then is then next level. It's around that. It will be a bit farther away from the center, and it will be in that area where it is our common area, where we will look for cooperations, and we will again engage it towards this area, and create again a wave. This wave will behave differently. It's a cooperative wave a little bit. It's a physical materialization. It's a materialization of going from my engagement to your engagement. You see, this wave is already more cooperative. It's cooperating, trying to cooperative. At least it's going towards the other as well. It has this wave intention, and that's already different than the A, so you can understand that. The next level, that will be in the full range of that materialization focus of space, will be that last one, which will be the last area will be the area for the M. And the M, if we would add then a wave, it would be a cooperative in a way. It will be also cooperative at the borders around the full space. Actually, it is this materialization around that center still. It keeps itself as a wave around that center and is behaving towards the borders and tries to continue as well. And also there it is, you have that sense of cooperation still, of extension still, and because it's around one center, you also have that feeling that it is about one common good for both of us, which is good for both. So we have this full area which we embrace, and that is extending to the borders, to its full extension. That's where this M sound is as a wave, waving around as a matter, around the matter, around the things, and they still have that basis of matter actually as well. And because it all starts from one focus, we can have that all these associations that I already gave you. The next level will be, that we not just go from this one center, but go from the differences between you and me, from my point of view and your point of view, or from my start and maybe a different start. It's a different way of thinking. Also, there can be engaged waves, like with the N. It can be engaged towards the bridging the gap between, what are our differences and what can we use for our differences. You have the engagement in D, the differences that we try to have as a common good in N, and going towards what is different in the other via Y. But we go to the wave now itself. The wave itself, if we just go from one position to the other position, we use that timing very consciously. Timing, in this case, well, different than the spatial orientation. This is about the timing association. I go from my position to your position. And the three orders, or the three stages that you can have them from, I go from my center to your center. It's going from my center O towards you via O, or I have indeed also this highlighting engagement between these two people in A, and I have what I'm going to reach in the other via W. And what is this engagement? It's also breaching our own point of view, and this breaching of our own space, actually, which is going on in that case, is expressed by O. It's going from my environment towards the bigger environment, and that's that O position. That's also that's also related with that engagement. When we compare it also to waves, it's that position that tries to bridge our own space to the other environment. And the W then is the other environment, and that's where you also have lesser known positions, and you have to adapt to it. You're actually also going to engage towards someone else's environment. That's someone else's environment. The W is going to reach that, and it's going to reach that via that time process. Compared to A, then, of course, we had A around that center. Then we had the second position from me to you with the O, A, W, and the last couple of the last kinds of waves are not in two focuses, not in one focus, so not in two focuses, but in three focuses. And what is then happening when we have a wave in three focuses? We're actually not going to look into these big waves. We're going to look into what is that pattern that can be repeated actually everywhere and around everywhere, and of course into the big picture, but also into a local position where you can recognize that wave separately. So, and therefore you need, of course, a working frame. So if you have a working frame between two people, you also have a pattern and a rhythm, and so that once you know that rhythm that works between you and me, for instance, you know that rhythm that not just is an engagement from I to you, but really an engagement of we in a way. We have that rhythm and pattern engaged onto the working frame, and where you then also know how to adapt. All these last letters are about that adaptation process and trying to estimate what kind of adaptation is needed to to understand, yeah, the pattern that can be used within that full frame. And we have, when you have that full frame and this rhythm, actually the letter R, for instance, is then this engagement that you have a wave from my position to the pattern and to the other position. So you have a rhythm, it finds its rhythm, and it finds also its acquired rhythm. It's actually that kind of rhythm that says, okay, thanks to this rhythm, I can have the pattern, I can use the pattern, and I can repeat the pattern in R, and I can find the rhythm in R that is required to also reach my rhythm and your rhythm and the rhythm that is acquired for the situation. With the A combined, it's of course also my engagement can also be found within this adaptation. So I can do from A to R, I can have that adaptation in Ra or R, in R very well, so I can be myself in this engagement because I will adapt. Now, of course, with war, what will happen? It does not start from R and A, it starts from the W first. And the W, we already said, it's an engagement, and that's an engagement from me towards you. Starts from my point of view. It has the ability of an adaptation, but actually what is really going on, it is going, positive or negative, it doesn't say, it's going into the zone of the other. And with A combined, you have in general A is just the approach from me to you, and I have my own idea and I follow a common good actually from a center point position. But here it doesn't start from A to W, no, it starts from the W. So the A starts after the W, so I have my engagement that starts actually within the environment as well. So I do something into the environment of the other. I go in that engagement from what I think I want to achieve into the zone of the other. I'm entering into the zone of the other with W and A. So I am, of course, with the W, I will also always be prepared, and I will have some effects that, which all have consequences by engaging this approach. And it will always be engaged upon the other, or what is different, or what is there at the other. And there I will find, oh yeah, of course, I will find a rhythm to, or try to find a rhythm where I can go and find something in it, so that I can engage my idea into it. And this idea will, of course, again, will have its consequences in its rhythms and in its variations and its that are there. Its waves as well. It will create even more waves in that way that will show itself from my influence onwards. Different with M, when you start from M. M starts, as I said already, from a common good. With O combined, it is here I will breach the normal space, so my space, or the normal space. Normally, if I have the O separately, and I will have even more O in that way, I will create more environment, but it doesn't start from O, it starts from M. So of course I will the M has to be becoming more with the O combined more and more and more. I have had this, I added waves at the outside, but I have of course the O or the Mo, and the more it will be engaged from that center of O, center with O from M, of course. So M to O will be engagement of an enlargement of this M, which is already an enlargement, which waves to breach it into a bigger environment or bigger space can be seen here. Of course, I'll have to have the R positions as well, that I have a rhythm and engagement as well, combined with A in the end, so not just the rhythms that come out and become more physical at the borders and so on, but also with A I find out the highlights there, the highlights that can again grow once more, grow more and more, and I have these highlights that I say, okay, A I can find more and more and more. So basically, repeat the ideas that, or the conclusions here. M, because M is around that center point of fusion. The M, you can see already how it has been written. It's more about becoming more in a physical sense. So where the matter is being pushed out, and it's an increase from one center point of view. W is different. It's an approach from me to you. So it actually not pushes out matter, but pushes out time. It engages time and more time, and all the energy of, let's say, also when I take vibrations in it, will also be make more waves and so on, and more things as well. So I can have that W increase as well, but it will be much more that of an idea that you need more time processes and more time and more results that come out after the W as well, that actually disperses actually all time fragments as well of all the directions that you can go into it. More and more, it could be associated as, oh no, more and more is possible, but it's the other way around. It's the waves are if you have more war, it will be also more and more dispersion a little bit of this soft W engagements towards the end. Okay, I hope this maybe some explanations could have been better, but it gives you already an idea in which direction it will go to with the W, with the M, with the word more, or with the word war. And I hope there will not become more war, because it will become confusions and delays and so on, as you already saw with W. With the W its own, it's an attention for all the things that need more time and so on. Engaging it even more will not create things on the short term at all. So that's not the method of an approach. Okay, thanks again for watching. Bye.